Alright, hey guys, welcome to Elizabeth Central. This video is going to be a get ready with me as I talk about toxic relationships. So I work with, or I have a coworker that has been going through some stuff with her significant other for quite a while. And my advice to her has always been, and will continue to always be, he's not the one for you. You need to move on and love yourself. But I kind of want to talk about her situation, just so you guys kind of know where I'm coming from and why I gave her that advice. And I thought about, like, hey, why not share it? You know, I'm not gonna say her name, so I don't really need her consent, but I'll bring it up to her that I did this for sure. But just so you know, a lot of people go through similar situations, and maybe it's going to be helpful for a few of you. There is going to be another video, I might link it below, on my personal relationship. So she has been dating this guy, I want to say about a year. And since the get-go, it's been nothing but like questioning, concerning, like, oh, is he the one for me? I kind of don't like him. I kind of feel like we don't belong together. Just on and off. Her intuition is there, obviously. But she seems to be stuck with, I don't want to be by myself, and he is different from what I'm used to, and is a good guy. So one thing for sure that I know that is a red flag when someone is not ready to move on from their relationship is when you consistently want to find the good in the bad. I can say 90% of the relationship is toxic, but you'll find yourself saying, but he's different, but we have good times together. And then when you get in an argument, the little things that he does that he should be doing all along, like trying to show you that he cares, he does it when you're in an argument, and it's like, oh my god, he's trying, he really does want us together. And like, you know, they're mind effing you. So deep down in the bottom, when someone asks themselves, oh, am I in a toxic relationship? Yeah, you are. If you're already questioning it, you are. It doesn't have to necessarily be physical, because people get that confused. It can be verbally abusive, it could be mentally, and it can be physical. I'm sure there's more. I'm not expert, so I don't know every title. But just keep in mind, like, if you are questioning, am I in the right relationship? Is he the one for me? You already know that answer deep down. And I don't know what about your insecurities you're trying to make everything seem like it's a-okay. Can't forget about my neck here, but I'm not trying to ruin my shirt. I am not a makeup artist, guys, so please forgive me if it looks weird as hell. But anyways, so a while back, she knew that while they were talking, he was talking to his ex. You know, like, he didn't let it go. He was still in a relationship pretty much with this person, but, you know, dating and going elsewhere, and this is where they meet each other. And she asked me a while back, she's like, hey, you know, like, I know our relationship is freshly new, and by freshly new, I want to say 2 months in. She's like, it's freshly new, and you know what's bothering me, that he's talking to his ex, like, should I tell him, should I not? And then I'm like, yeah, like, if it bothers him, then, you know, 2 months in, nothing bad, like, oh wow, that's his loss, you know, for not taking you serious. if he is bothered by that. If nothing more, he'll be like, oh, you know what, that bothers you? You know what, yeah, maybe I should distance myself, you know? I apologize. So she did. And supposedly he's like, yeah, you know what, like, I agree with you. You should do the same, because it turns out that she was talking to her ex as well. So yeah, they stopped talking to each other's exes. And then she goes into a situation where he works, he always has like study night with his peer. That was weird. So he has study nights, and he's distancing himself from my coworker. So he's acting shady, he's acting weird, and she's like, is that normal? Like, you know, am I thinking too much of it? And I'm like, okay, well, how does it go exactly? And then she'll be like, oh, well, you know, we have a date, and he cancels on me because he's going to meet up with her to work on work. And then I'm like, okay, that could be normal. Question, does he just ignore you and say, I'm sorry, we have to reschedule? Or does he say, hey, you should come, but we do have to reschedule? But giving you the opening of you should come kind of makes everything seem like it's a-okay, nothing to worry about. And she says, no, that's never an option. Like, he never says that. I'm like, okay, well, if this is a huge concern for you, it's something you should totally bring up and be like, hey, I get that you guys do that. I would love to be part of it. Is it okay? If he makes a big deal and says, no, like, you can't do that, that's interfering or whatever, then you know it's a red flag. I'm like, don't think too much of it. Go with it. So sure enough, I guess she attempted that. And he said, oh, like, you can, but that would be weird. So it's kind of like, you shouldn't. So she never did. And it turns out that they actually, I think, messed around. I'm not sure. She didn't give me the full information, but yes. So this guy is, you know, talking to other people. And then this is last year, okay? Like around this time. So now they've been broken up, and then they go back and forth. And now it turns out that his ex has a significant other that contacted her on her social media and said, hey, just so you know, I'm aware that your boyfriend and my girlfriend are exes, and I caught her, like, I went through her phone and I saw that they are sexting. So it's like, what? So, like, he never stopped talking to his ex, which he said he would. And, like, what does that tell you? Like, that's the guy that doesn't care about this relationship, right? But she's in the stance where she tells herself, he's a good guy, he's different. Maybe it's something that I'm not doing that makes him go elsewhere, you know? And it's like, no, like, that's one thing for sure. Never question yourself and never ask yourself, what am I not doing that is making him look elsewhere? No, this guy is clearly 100% not devoted into this relationship. Like, I don't know if he has, you know, what do you call them? Self-esteem issues, just based on how he was raised issues, mommy daddy issues. I have no clue. So I'm just like, no, like, the fact that he's been talking to his ex for the longest time and has clearly cheated on you. If you don't call that sexting, if you don't call that cheating, I am so sorry, but you are completely wrong. I call it cheating. You are giving time and day to, you know, time, day, night, whatever, to somebody else. Like, he is not 100% with you, and it's a big red flag, and it means move on before you keep yourself in this hole, and you're just digging in the hole, and you're gonna find yourself making it harder and harder to get out of. I mean, I explained it to her. She's gonna take the advice how she's gonna take it. And I know for a fact that she's not ready to give it up. Because when she told me this, she's like, oh, you know, like, I can't believe this. Like, I can't be in this relationship. And I'm like, yeah, you most certainly can't. And you need to respect yourself. You need to love yourself. And you need to understand your self-worth. You can be the baddest actress, you know, looking baddest biatch model that cooks, cleans, that does everything for her man. And if he doesn't want to be in the relationship, if he's not going to take it serious 100%, it is not your fault. It is on him. He is not ready for this relationship. Therefore, you shouldn't be wasting your youth and your time and your love and everything on a person, you know? But then you get the whole like, oh, well, I'm trying to look at the bigger picture. Like, I know he's worth it. He's so different from what I'm used to. I've dated bigger assholes. And yeah, that's completely understandable, but that doesn't mean you need to go from one a-hole to the next just because he's slightly different. Like, no, like, oh no, move on and think what and how you want others to perceive you and how you want to value yourself, and tell yourself that you're worth it and that you're important. I think a lot of women make that mistake. I'm completely not going to lie and say I was never that, because I was. Look for your resources and surround yourself around good things. Like, some of us don't have family, you know, but we most definitely have friends. And if we don't have friends, we have resources where you can go. There's so many clubs out there. Literally, there's like clubs for everything, and you just gotta search online. I know there's like hiking clubs that you can meet up with people and just make friends and then go hiking, something that you never do, but you're not alone because you're going with a group of people that don't know anybody, so everybody's on the same page, and it just makes you feel good. So you gotta surround yourself around positivity, and you'll see great things start to come for you. In my other video, I do state how my life has changed since my last relationship and how I've bettered myself. We all go through situations where we put ourselves down, so we go through depression, but we gotta be strong enough to lift ourselves up, because if somebody's there for you consistently and they try to pull you up and you lose yourself and you consistently fail to understand that they're there for you, they're gonna grow tired of it. And in reality, you can have all the support, but only you can take everything in consideration and pull yourself out of it. If you're in a toxic relationship, quit looking at the positive pieces of that and start looking at what they always do to hurt you, and start to love yourself more than you love them. Because if you don't love yourself, who's gonna love yourself? If you don't love yourself, who's gonna love you? Obviously they're not, because they're doing their nasties and dirties all over the place. And I think not everything's freaking unicorns and rainbows, you know? So you gotta love yourself, ladies, and men out there as well.